Hi, everyone. It's Melissa from Markham Pelvic Health here, and I am so pleased to be joined by our psychotherapist at the clinic. Her name is Alana Sham. She is super excited to be with us today, and I'm really glad today that we're going to be talking a little bit about ways to help combat COVID fatigue this winter. I think all of us have been overwhelmed over the past 8 months with lockdowns and reopenings and schools and school shutdowns. We're all feeling a little bit weary. We're all feeling the impending winter coming upon us. We're all pretty fatigued. We're all pretty burnt out, I would say, or many of us are. I shouldn't say all. But Solan, I'm glad that you're able to come and join us and chat about this. And what I want to know is I want to know what your top 5 tips are for people out there who are wanting some help this winter to help combat maybe some additional anxiety, stress, or just ways to get over this slump of COVID fatigue that we've all been experiencing. I mean, not all of us, many of us.
Yeah, for sure. And I think this is such an important topic because it's all around us, really. It's happening to everyone. It's weird to consider this being the new norm. And so you're right. I'm more than happy to share some of my tips. Of course, I know these have been effective for me, and I would be more than happy to share more if some of these are helpful for viewers. So personally, I find that one thing I tend to remind myself is basically to taking that time to be reflective, to consider what's happening on the inside. Because you've mentioned, we're fatigued, we're stressed, we're anxious. Some of us might be just angry with the situation, or just feeling really, really sad that we have to adapt to all these changes that's happened in this past year alone. So it's taking that time to acknowledge these feelings, to kind of understand where it's coming from. Easier said than done, I know. For sure, easier said than done. But it's like, it's that practice of taking a step back to acknowledge that, I'm feeling some intense things, I don't really like it. And it's practicing like, okay, let's name it. Let's name it to better understand where these feelings are. My thing to tell everyone is you want to name it to tame it, because at the end of the day, these are thoughts, these are feelings, they can't control you, at the end of the day, you can manage these things to the best of your ability. So first things first, name it to tame it.
I love it.
Yeah. Oh, me too. The second one is to get into a routine, because routine is something that prepares us for how to deal with the day, helps us understand what to expect next. And then sometimes if you feel like you got into a rut, you don't really like the routine, well, that's okay. You can always change it up, add a little something here, take out a little something there. So whether it be your screen time, the interactions you have with your families, your friends virtually, or like from a socially distanced way, it's all about changing something up if you feel like you're kind of stuck, right? Because we want to get ourselves out of that slump, get feeling stuck and everything like that. And so we just need to really just change something up. So that's tip number 2.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question about that, actually.
Yes.
So I know my routine, especially during the beginning days of COVID, was the same. Day in, day out, stay home, maybe go for a walk, come home, and it's the same routine. Do you suggest that the routine should be different? Like every Monday should look like this, every Tuesday should look like this? Or is it better? Do you have any recommendations around that?
So thanks for asking that question. Some things that I know it's honestly depends on the person, right? So for some people, having that structured routine and keeping at it for whatever it is, whether it be every day or every other day, changing it up or looking different, it honestly depends on that person. I myself am someone who kind of don't really have that much of a structured routine because of the practice I work in, and like the clients I see. It changes all the time, and I kind of thrive in that, right? But I know for other people it's like, no, I cannot have this to change the difference. So it depends on the person, right? It's knowing yourself, knowing what you're most comfortable with. And if you know that, oh my gosh, when it comes to routine, I prefer a certain way. Awesome, you know. And if you find that, you know, some people are stuck in a routine, so this is more so hitting that at home for some people who are just feeling like, oh gosh, I'm feeling sluggish, I'm feeling stuck.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's huge with COVID, that it's, you know, you talked about getting in that rut. And I think that's where a lot of us are feeling. We're feeling super sluggish. We're feeling like we're in that rut. So that's super helpful.
Hmm. Yeah,
All
for
right.
sure.
Tip number 3, what is it?
Tip number 3. So it kind of takes back into the whole idea of that acknowledgement, that self-reflection about, you know what, the holidays, the upcoming holidays, because, you know, we are pretty much in winter right now, but then with how holidays and how people celebrate holidays, it's going to look different this year. And
Yeah.
it's really the idea of how do we come to a place of seeing it for what it is, that, you know, things are going to be different, and to find some semblance of, like, you know what, despite how different it is, I can still see some aspects of joy, you know. So for example, I myself, I love that it's snowing now and then. I love that I can just, you know, walk out, I can enjoy the snow. So these are little things I can be grateful for. So I guess number 4 kind of touches on the idea of being grateful, finding little things to be grateful. Of course, practice makes perfect. Easier said than done. I understand. Sharing these as some tips that I find has been you know, kind of life changing. You know, for me personally, I know I've had a gratitude journal, and oh my God, initially it was so hard to do, so hard to be finding anything to be grateful for, especially if you're feeling burnt out. You know, if you're feeling so down and just upset with what's going on. Oh my gosh, yes, understandable. However, you know, it takes that practice. Just one little thing, you know, every day. I like to tell my clients, you know, we can always just focus on 3 things. And when I say 3 things to be grateful for, it's not just, I have a house over my head. Yay. No, no, no. Yeah, I'm glad you have a house over your head. It's more so things that really hit home for you. So for example, I got out of bed today and I got, you know, 7 hours of sleep and I feel great. Awesome. You know, it's going online. It's like, oh, you know, instead of dreading going on Zoom, I got to meet some people, I got to talk to some people, and it was nice, you know, and I really enjoyed it. So things like that it really hits home for you, you know.
Yeah. That's a great way to put it, because I think often people will say, "Oh, I'm really grateful for my friends and family." And that's it, right? But so you're
Exactly.
recommending that people kind of delve in a little bit more, to figure out what exactly about that you might be grateful for.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Your next tip number 4.
Yeah, we're on tip number 4. And
Okay.
I made this tip number 4 because well, let's just say you probably hear this all the time, but it's, you know, getting into exercising, you know, doing some meditation, doing
Ah,
some breathing. Like even me just saying it is like, I know this is repetitive, but seriously, I know it, and it does bring a lot of benefits. Okay. So yeah, especially the breathing portion. If you find that you're stressed, if you find that you're spiraling, if you find that your anxiety is getting too loud, you know what? Just take a moment, literally stop everything that you're doing and breathe.
and I think this is where the psychotherapy meets physiotherapy, because we often, and from the physiotherapy world, we often talk about breathing. You know, we're trying to down regulate that nervous system. We're trying to get the muscles to relax. We're trying to get that nervous system to not be up here, but try to get it in a more relaxed state so that we can figure out what's going on with our bodies. And we're talking about that from a very anatomical point of view when we talk about the muscles, but that often goes hand in hand with the brain, right? And I think this is a prime example of why it's often beneficial to have the two working together as well. So if you're coming for physiotherapy, people will say, well, why do I need to see a psychotherapist? And this is a prime example of why it works so well.
Yeah. Thank you so much for
Awesome.
mentioning that. But yes, oh my goodness, breathing. Yeah, we take it for granted, let's just say.
Yeah, it's just something that happens automatically. So we think, oh, I know how to breathe.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I remember what is it? My little nephew, he tells me, I know how to breathe. And I was like, okay, yeah, show me how you breathe. He was I was like, oh honey, no, we gotta slow it down.
Yes, absolutely. And what's your 5th tip for us?
5th tip, honestly, it's either, it doesn't matter who it is, but talk to someone. You know, it doesn't matter if it's someone who's in a professional setting, you know, if it's like a friend, it's someone that you trust, basically. It's the idea of like connecting, finding some connections during this time, because you know it's winter, it's dark, it's cold, we're in a pandemic. Doing all this alone, it's difficult, it's
Yeah.
stressful. So you know what, connect, finding those connections, you know, whether it's people you live with, people outside, you know, hop on the phone, go on a Zoom chat like this. And yeah, just finding that person that you can relate to, that you can be open with and share, you know. It's all about making that connection, because you're not alone. And it's that gentle reminder that, you know, you owe it to yourself to put yourself first, you know, and putting yourself first might also mean making those connections with people. And yeah, being reminded that, you know, you're amazing, you know, the people around you are amazing. So yeah, you know, we're all in this together, as corny as it
Yes.
sounds.
Yes. But it's so true. I think the world we live in, but even more so now, people are feeling isolated and they're feeling alone. So having that community, having that connection with other people is even more important now than ever before. Awesome. Amazing, amazing. Um, so if people want to know more about Alana, we're going to do a few different videos with her. So check those out. If you want more information, her information's on our website, and she's seeing clients through the day into the evenings at the clinic, and she's happy to connect. Any other last words for this COVID fatigue, Alana, before I let you go?
um Oof, you know what? Just that gentle reminder, you know, you're not alone. You know, I myself am more than happy. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to reach out. And yeah, stay warm.
Awesome. Thanks so much. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, Melissa.
Okay.